We are here inside DocuSign's headquarters in San Francisco, and you were supposed to see the most amazing, beautiful Bay Bridge right behind us, but it is smoky. It is smoky unlike any time it's ever been. My family's lived here in San Francisco for 10 generations. So my ancestor, Lieutenant Moraga, founded the Presidio in 1776, founded the city of San Jose in 1777. I imagine some of my ancestors have seen smoke like this, but nobody I know has ever seen smoke like this ever. We had a bunch of people coming to this event from DocuSign, and this morning DocuSign sent an email out to their staff saying, don't come to work, work from home. So obviously we're navigating that. We're so happy to have you join us. We actually are live streaming this at host locations all across the world. So 10 different cities in California, 10 more cities across America, and 15 cities around the world. Some of these folks are live streaming and having networking events very, very late into the night or very early into the morning because they're excited about what I am excited about, and that is the future of voice. And so thank all of you for joining me. Thank you, everybody online, for joining me. I will try to give you some attention. I am grateful for your attention, and if you stay with us, we will inspire you. You will be educated, entertained, and hopefully have a moment of escapism, which is the same for all of you in the room. So today is about the future of voice. Where is voice going? Why does it matter? All these products we have on our phone, over 1 billion people have access to voice as an operating system through the consumer products like Siri and Alexa and Assistant and Bixby and Cortana. There's all the enterprise solutions that IBM Watson is doing and many other enterprise companies. There's all these products, right? The Facebook portal is a product unlike any I've seen so far in the market, or Google is coming out with new products, even without video cameras, just voice and screen alone. And there's all this energy towards security and privacy. Blockchain comes in and says, hey, we can provide more transparency, and there's all these different elements that are constantly emerging in voice. Why does it matter? Well, why it matters is that our culture, humanity, we started off with voice. We didn't have the remote control of our life in our pocket. We didn't have, you ever think to yourself that we went from a hot box that was big and loud with 10 fingers, and somehow the business world got us to go to a little tiny screen with 2 thumbs. And now we're going to be away from devices and back to voice. And of course, the hope is that as soon as possible, we'll have things like augmented reality on our glasses, right? I imagine a future where a pair of glasses like this don't just help me see far and don't just go dark when I'm outside, but that this is the computer of my phone, and that this is the microphone and the speaker and the camera, and that all my glasses, I have augmented reality. So it's not just speaking, but I have that Jarvis-like experience, right? I mean, we started watching Avengers and Iron Man 10 years ago, and you see Tony Stark, right? You see all the stuff in front of his face. He's talking to Jarvis. Jarvis makes his life way better. Like, I want a Jarvis, right? We tried to find a virtual assistant. Like, no, that wasn't really like Jarvis. That was very different. That wasn't what I was hoping for. But that's what we long for. We long that technology can keep up with our thoughts, that maybe at the speed of speaking, maybe that's the first step toward us having an interaction with tech that allows us to automate our life, allows us to get things done, allows us to accomplish things that we just don't have time for. How often have you walked by something as beautiful as the Bay Bridge or walked on the Embarcadero and you thought about your mom or you've thought about your niece? And if only you had the time and you weren't in a rush, if you could only speak to your glasses and say, while I walk, take a time lapse of this sunrise right now and send this time lapse to my mom, tell her I love her and that I'm thinking about her. While I walk, zoom in, there's a whale, zoom in on the whale. Take a slow-mo video of the whale coming up right now. You're talking to your glasses, this is what's happening, and you say, send that to my niece and tell her she's my little whale, or whatever it is that you do. That is the future, it's not that far away. And voice is not very sexy, okay? It just isn't. And especially because we don't have the greatest experience ever, when we use it on our phones and our tablets, it's kind of lacking in the experience, right? But when we start to get more interactive with hardware, when we start to get more interactive with visual things, it will be a very different thing, and it will feel like the tipping point happens in a moment. And that's what we want to talk about today. I'm really here to learn, right? I mean, I'm obviously passionate about voice. It's what I've poured myself into for some time now. And I've built a whole team around seeing the boundaries of what can we do in the voice space. What does voice as an operating system look like? What does voice, where not just the machine is artificial intelligence, machine learning, but what happens when all of the teams that are working on voice, they can deploy artificial intelligence? What happens when we start to actually interact with augmented reality? And how do we drive toward that? And how do we do it collaboratively? You know, some of you in this room might feel like you're sitting next to a competitor. Some of you that are watching might feel like this room is filled with your competitors. Maybe you're here to find something out to use for your company. I would propose to you, there are no competitors in the voice landscape right now. That's like having competitors with email marketing in 1994. It's like having competitors in AdWords in 2001, or competitors on Twitter or YouTube in 2007. It just simply is not a reality. It's a fabric of your imagination. You are collaborators. You are here to complement one another, not to compete against each other, because a rising tide will raise all ships. It is far too early to go to war with each other. This is the time to do informal and formal partnerships. This is the time to license each other's technology. This is the time to encourage one another, to consult for one another, to refer one another to your network, because as we grow the voice industry, it's not just good for your bottom line or your top line revenue, it's good for your grandchildren and their grandchildren to come. Because this is humanity's best chance to interact with technology unless we can figure out a way to wire tech with our brain. Then we have to ask ourselves, do people really want that? I don't know. But I certainly know that people like to talk. I'm one of the favorite talkers. I love to talk, right? That's one reason why I have a microphone. But I'm not here to talk to you the whole time. I promise I'm about ready to bring up somebody else that has a voice, and I'm here to learn. So let me lay out the day for all of you. And again, for those that are tuning online, let me just say thank you so much for your attention. And we are here to educate you, inspire you, give you, hopefully, a sense of escapism that you can forget all your worries just for a few hours as we enjoy this time. So let me set the agenda for you. For those that are in the room, you can go behind the cameras to grab coffee and drinks and use the restroom back there. And for those on the camera, I don't really even care what you're doing. You can be hanging out in your bathrobe for all I care. And the other thing is the agenda's been adjusted a bit. And partially that's because I want to be sensitive to the number of people that signed up online. I could have never fathomed that we'd have about 1,000 people sign up for the live stream. Like, I just was hoping I'd maybe get a couple people in each area. I didn't expect so many people to be like, I want to host a networking event. I want to live stream this. This is amazing. This is my world. This is my business. So because of that overwhelming response, we're not going to take the 2 10-minute breaks I originally anticipated. Rather, we're going to end a half hour early so that all of you have plenty of time to spend hour networking with each other, getting to know one another, hopefully talking about the things that stood out to you, and hopefully getting to interact with the speakers, right? Speakers are not coming in at 2:30 to speak at 2:40 and leaving at 3 o'clock. Speakers are sitting next to you. They're standing next to me. Like, they're here, they're available, they want to interact and get to know you. So let me lay out the agenda.